Oh, ladies and gents. So, please like, comment, subscribe. This is another Romie Reports. Ha! Now, I have to say, I have Tidal, so when it was reported that the celebration of Nipsey Hussle was going to be streamed and televised, I said, cool, because I was at work when it happened at 1 p.m. When I tell you, it was I purposely avoided as much as I could regarding the Nipsey Hussle thing, and at his homegoing, at his funeral, at his um, celebration, it was. That's when I finally said, all right, screw being strong, because you have all these people that are there filling up the Staples Stadium who love this man, who were affected by this man. I'm sure a bunch of them who never really paid attention to his music, because I myself, not gonna lie, not like I knew his music like that. I was one of those people that knew him because of his other, philanthropic works. And so that's what made it even harder. And like, really? But that's not what you're here for. That's why I haven't talked about that in a separate video. We're here to discuss how that was amazing. It was one of the most. It was. It was. It was. That's what it was. Because it gave you a mixture of everything you could think of. Imagine someone's funeral, homegoing service, celebration of life service, and you have a combination of you're upset, but then you're happy, and the speakers are, they're, even though it's in the Staples Center, so it wasn't like it was in a church, but a lot of funeral stuff, normally there isn't like cursing, you try to just be PC, but no, this man was killed, and people, his family, his loved ones, close friends were real. People didn't even know that Beyonce and Jay-Z were actually there in attendance. People didn't even know that he was signed to Rock Nation Management, I believe. Yeah, Beyonce and Jay-Z were there. And Jay-Z, he also wrote something, but again, not trying to. You know how when big people come to certain things and it becomes about them instead of the person who was actually about? Yeah. Because like President Obama, he sent a letter that I think it was it Karen Civil? Karen Civil read. I actually started watching, I think like right after that. So I started watching the live stream when Mr. Farrakhan was up, because the live stream was delayed because they sold. No. Let's not use the word sold. You were able to get tickets because the tickets were free. You were able to get tickets to this thing because again, it was the Staple um, Center Stadium, and there was some issues with people being able to get in, so they had to delay it by like close to an hour. But boy, when it started, it started. And again, it wasn't one of those where the focus was just on the music. Like Janae Aiko, she did good. Man, when her voice was kind of breaking up while she's singing that song, I said, "Oh no, I can't." I'm like, I'm at work. Keep it together. Keep it together. When, man, uh, when his kids were up there with, I believe at the time it was Lauren London and one of his sisters, I said, "Oh, keep it together, keep it together." And when Lauren and Lil Wayne's son, because a lot of people forgot that Lauren London and Lil Wayne have a child together. When his son, because of course he had a close bond with Nipsey, was saying that he had, a lot of people didn't understand the story. So he had a dream. And he had a dream that Nipsey visited him. And that does happen for a lot of people when a close loved one dies. And so I understood exactly what he was talking about. But I was just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, keep it together, keep it together. And then I believe his daughter, she was just so broken up about it, she couldn't say whatever originally she was going to say. So then they moved on. I don't remember what Mr. Farrakhan said because I was still kind of like, okay, all right, all right, all right. This is finally real. This is finally real. And there were a bunch of other people out there, but some people I wanted to talk about was Nipsey's mom. What a spirit. What a spirit. What a religious intellectual spirit. When she was talking about his electromagnetic field, and I completely understood what I said. Oh, because she started recently going to a an African, what was it, an African scientific church, something like that, and I was just like, wow. And I love the fact that even though she was telling us the stories about her son and the spirit that he had and how he always watched out for her and he always took pain like a champ and he just very caring about everyone around him. She was just saying that that was her soul right there. She had other children. She loves all her children, but that was her soul. That was her soul. There was just a different type of connection she had with that child. And how she was just like, she's not gonna be, well, of course, that's her baby. So she's like, okay, take a moment. She's not gonna be, she's not gonna dwell on the fact that he's gone. She's going to be joyous that he lived and he knew what his purpose was and that he did more in his 33, 34 years of life than most people could even do in so many lifetimes. I'm not sure if she said that portion or if another family member said that portion. But I was just like, oh, but she was just so calming. She was just so loving. And again, the fact that she was bringing peace to everyone watching when everyone there was kind of supposed to be bringing peace to the family, a true blessing. His father was up there, and one of the main things he talked about was that he was saying we need. I understand what he was saying. His main point was that because of how this world and how the mentality is that just man trying to go and fix this themselves isn't enough. We also need, the women that these men who are in these lifestyles to go out there and say, no, enough is enough. You are not doing this to him. You are not doing this to him. Because at the bare minimum, if there isn't at least a certain amount of love and respect, it's more likely going to be for the mom, the mother, the grandmother, when it comes to men. So I understood what he was saying. Obviously, we all need to work in tandem, but just kind of doing, because that happened before. That happened in the past. So I do agree to a certain degree. He wasn't saying it'll just fix everything, but it'll help. His brother, when his brother got up there, Nipsey's brother got up there, I already knew. I said, oh, this is where it's going to get real. I already knew. Because at first, because that's his brother, and that was his baby brother, because he was the older brother. Nipsey's brother was his older brother. So when I tell you the curse words eventually started flying, I said, I love it. Because I said, first of all, we're not in no dang church. This man was killed. This is not some just cute, cheap, kumbaya situation. No. So I said, speak on it. So he was just saying how his brother, he was always different. Because his mom talked about how smart he was. Another man later on came on and talked about how, I think also how smart Nipsey was and how he advanced at a very young age. And his brother's just like, yeah, he was a hustler through and through. We worked, regular shift, regular times to make what we made. And he would go and make a couple $100, selling parts to computers, doing stuff. Like his mind was just always different. And then we got to Snoop Dogg. I said, oh, okay. Okay, so we're doing this today. We're doing this today. Love it. Love everything about it. And Snoop was just like, when Nip gave me his CD the first time, I wasn't going to play that. I told him. I didn't know if the music was good or not. I didn't play it. I got a lot of CDs. But he said he remembered what Nip said. Because Nip was just like, told him, just listen to my music. I'd appreciate it. It wasn't, go and sign me. You have to do this. Da, da, da. It was just like, hey, come on. Thank you. And he said other stuff too, but it's just now it's escaping my. I'm so irritated. That now is the time that it escapes my memory. But both of Nipsey's sisters were up there, his younger sisters, and then we got to Miss London. And when I tell you, it's amazing. It's just amazing because she was telling us about how she sent Nipsey these text messages and they're so prophetic. And then she was also telling us how she loves that man. He loves her. That was her one. But the march continues. The movement continues. And that's the important thing with this. Oh, the pastor. All right. So I know some of you were looking at that pastor thinking, now what in the world? People. The pastor, when I tell you that McDonald's, I understood exactly what he was talking about when he was saying, because he was comparing, Nipsey's life and the way how he moved to a bunch of things. So he was, at one point he talked about McDonald's, and how at McDonald's, they don't have to go and run smear campaigns because they are, they're great at what they do, so they don't need to go and put down others. And I said, oh, okay, I get that. He didn't say exactly like that, but this is what he meant from what he was saying. As well as he said, just like McDonald's have them fries. People don't go there to get McDonald's burgers like that. That's not the main staple. And so it's just, I appreciate how he was also like, hey, let's call it what it is. This man was killed. We're trying to be very respectful and very PC, but he was killed. So this isn't just some cutesy little ceremonious. And then he said something that I'm sure some people didn't agree with, which was the whole thing of, no, a lot of people would agree with this, but I don't think normally a lot of people would say this. He talked about how there's cases where, obviously God gave us free will. And so some people use the free will for betterment. Some people don't. And so he's like, yes, God will protect you from a lot of things, but God already knows your entire story. He knows your entire story, and he loves you regardless. And we need to start taking more control of our stories. And I got what he said, but when he rapped at the end, I said, oh, okay, that's how he brought it around. Because if you're not familiar with, preachers and whatnot, they always have to find a way to bring their story around. A preacher, a non-effective preacher or pastor, is one that isn't able to convey their point at the end. You can be confused through the beginning and middle, but if they're not able to tie it up in the end, then it's not effective. So all in all, that was an excellent service. But again, now this needs to reinvigorate more people who came from the lifestyle and was able to rise above, people who are currently in it, and viewers of the lifestyle who glorify it but don't even live it. So that's it. I just wanted to kind of mention that because I didn't say anything about his passing, and obviously it affected me like it affected almost everyone else. But then please like, comment, subscribe. Yeah.